Morning. Welcome to the Weather Mic. It's a severe weather day, and it looks bad. It's going to be very dangerous today in Oklahoma and Kansas, and maybe even getting into Nebraska, western Iowa. Not as bad on the tornadoes, but it could get pretty rough. And I'm going to get into details right now. This is from the Storm Prediction Center from this morning at 8:30 Central Time. And they are outlining numerous dangers with this storm system that's evolving today. We have a very cold Pacific low coming into the Pacific Northwest, ejecting into the plains. That's going to spread very cold air on top of a warm, moist atmosphere that's coming in with a warm front, southeast breezes, increased dew points. That's going to cause a dry line to form in Kansas and Oklahoma. And as that dry line punches into that warm, moist air with that cold air aloft, it's going to be explosive. And so this is the overview. Damaging severe storms likely today and tonight across portions of the southern and central plains. Most numerous and intense storms for central and eastern Kansas, south into much of Oklahoma. Primary risks are multiple strong and long track tornadoes. So let me read that again. Multiple strong and long track tornadoes. Something we had experience with here in western Iowa and in the Omaha area, Lincoln, Omaha area a week ago Friday. And it was not fun. I know some people who lost houses and stuff. So this is dangerous. Also, very large hail, 2 to 4 inches in diameter. So you're talking baseball-sized hail-ish. Severe damaging wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour will exist across the enhanced, moderate, and high-risk areas. It's not very often you get a high-risk area, and we have one today, mostly Oklahoma into southern Kansas. Severe storms are expected to develop by mid-afternoon across west central Kansas, western Oklahoma. The potential for strong tornadoes will continue into the overnight, which is even more dangerous because it's at night. It's hard to see tornadoes. Or if you're sleeping, you definitely need a NOAA weather radio or something that's going to give you warnings that's going to wake you up. So continue to monitor forecasts for the latest information, updates to the high-risk areas, especially have multiple ways to receive watch warning information. So that's what's going on. And if you look into the graphic part, you see those dotted lines. So you got the green dashed line, which inside of that is 2-inch plus hail. That's your best chance for that. The blue dashed line, most favored for wind gusts of 75 miles an hour or more. And then the red dashed line, that's the most favorable for multiple strong, long track tornadoes. And that includes basically the eastern 2/3 of Kansas and most of Oklahoma for the tornado damage, the long track tornadoes, strong long track tornadoes. Now that does dip into Texas a little bit along the Red River. So Wichita Falls, you're very close to that red line, Vernon as well. Thankfully it dips northward when you get to like Sherman. But even in, the yellow area, which is our slight risk for severe weather. So the green is slight, the orange is moderate, and then you get into the red and the purple, and that's where you get your high danger for severe weather. But even if you're in the yellow, like I am in Harlan, Iowa, and like where all my exes that live in Texas are in North Texas, even there you could see isolated tornadoes. You could see large hail. Excuse me. And so you're not out of the woods in those areas either. So again, do a good job and stay aware of the weather and have a way of getting warnings. So let's take a look. I've got the reflectivity up here. This is zoomed in to the Central Plains, South and Central Plains. And this is the North American model. And you can see on here, as we're starting at 11 o'clock this morning, this is snow. This is how cold this upper level low is that's moving in out of the Pacific Northwest into the plains. It's snow today in Wyoming and into Colorado. And as we move forward, this is noon. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we're starting to see some storms starting to pop up in Oklahoma and also along the dry line in western Kansas. And as we get into the afternoon, we start to see these storms explode, even a few isolated storms here in Nebraska. Now, these are going to be along kind of the warm front. These are less of a severe risk for eastern Nebraska, I should say, into South Dakota. But this dry line here in Kansas especially, this is where things are going to start to get bad and in a hurry. And we'll also watch parts of Oklahoma as we start to see those storms form to the west, moving to the east. We're at 21Z, minus 6 is 16, minus 12. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time. And as we move through the afternoon, you can see numerous showers and storms busting out from Nebraska into Kansas and again into Oklahoma. Any of these would be capable of producing large hail, strong gusty winds, and even tornadoes. And they kind of line up, especially into Kansas. And then this area down in Oklahoma, this is where we're watching for the worst of it in this area here. And these are nothing to sneeze at as the severe storms line up and cross the Missouri River out of Nebraska into western Iowa by early this evening. And so this is kind of what our radar would look like. These storms as they line up, as let's say so here's my county right here, Shelby County. So, as these storms move through, it's like this is 1 hour of rain. And then the next hour, it's pretty much moved out and it's just light rain. So it's going to be a quick hitter for many. But again, this portion of the line of storms and then back into Oklahoma where, we could see some supercells along with that. These are the most dangerous here. You really want to be careful. Let's take a broad brush look at the country. And this is how it looks on today's surface. And again, we've highlighted those areas. Heavy rain, flash flooding possible in western Iowa, down into Missouri, Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, and then the severe storms possible from Nebraska into Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma. And if we see snow, heavy snow in the mountains in the west, and a mixture in even the lower elevations here, and an area of severe weather possible into eastern Montana, and a large area of scattered showers and storms with an area in eastern New Mexico into West Texas of a high fire danger. You're going to be on the dry side of the dry line with some gusty winds and warm temperatures, so you got to be careful there too. Tomorrow, the surface looks like this. It's still cold and snowy in the west. Still high fire danger for eastern New Mexico, up in eastern Colorado, crossing across that border into West Texas a little bit. The severe storms move further to the east, into the Ohio Valley, Kentucky, Tennessee as well, Illinois, Indiana, near Chicago, an area of general thunderstorms around that. And then a quick peek at Wednesday. This severe weather threat expands. It doesn't really move east. It just expands and gets more severe with the heavy rain for Kentucky, Tennessee, into Arkansas, Missouri, and then a big area of severe weather possible, again, from the Ohio Valley back to the plains, back into eastern Oklahoma, and even down into the southeast. So again, just wanted to jump on here real quick and just let you know about our severe weather threat today. It is serious. It is going to be life-threatening for some. If you are in really anywhere in the orange area, red area, purple area especially, pay very close attention to your weather today and have ways to get warnings. But even if you're in the yellow area, pay attention. It could get rough for you as well. And otherwise, here we can use the rain, so there is some good news with it as well. Just be careful out there, y'all. And thank you for tuning in the Weather Mike.